Hi guys, it's Cody and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how I created my breeches for my Sapphire Gentleman cosplay from Sakizou. So for the pattern, I originally was going to use a historical pattern that I found online. However, all the sizes came in men's sizes, which were too big for me. So I took a careful look at the shape of the patterns and then modified my regular pants pattern. To check the fit and shape, I made a mock-up out of muslin. While I liked how the overall shape came out, I did have to make a few adjustments here and there. The biggest being the front flap thing in the front. Originally I had it at a sideways angle, but I realized upon looking at my reference that that was way too much of an angle, so I modified it so that it came down more in a straight line. With the pattern sorted out, I began cutting out the lining, which is this off-white cotton. In addition, I also cut out all the pieces that needed interfacing. I then began sewing the main portion of the lining like a regular pair of pants. Alright, onto the main fabric. I picked up this 120-inch wide dupioni when I was in Hawaii, and as you can see, I've laid out both my breeches and my shirt pattern for Sakizou. And the reason being is that I could only get 2 yards of this fabric, so I really wanted to make sure that I had enough fabric for both of them. I'm also using these clear color-coded envelopes to keep all the pieces separate from each other. So this fabric is actually a little bit shreddy, so to make sure that the crotch seam doesn't split open while I'm wearing this, I'm adding a little piece of interfacing in the crotch seam area. Now I'm going to get started on sewing the breeches together for the main fabric. Once again, I am starting with just putting it together like a basic pants pattern, but as you can see, I'm leaving a little bit of a slit open in the back. This will be important later on. Next, I stuffed the breeches into the lining, right sides together, and sewed along the triangular shapes on the side. I then sent a prayer to all the sewing gods, cut down the middle, and turned it inside out. I then attached the inner placket to the outer portion of the flap. And after that, I put a little gather in the back and added the waistband. With the waistband in place, I can now add the hand-sewn eyelets. This is the reason why I have that little slit in the back, so that way I can achieve this beautiful lace-up effect in the back. And to prevent any of my underwear from peeking out behind that slit, I'm adding this little triangular piece on one side. My apologies for the horrible angle, but in this shot I am sewing the plackets on the front flap. This is to not only keep that front flap from fully falling open, but also have a space for the buttons that I'll be adding later on. On a scrap piece of paper, I did some test runs on buttonholes. However, I am actually going to be making my buttonholes by hand. Yes, I could have done these by machine, but I really wanted to give that nice historical feel to this costume. This was repeated on all the buttonholes on this costume, except for some of the ones that are going to be hidden. Those I did by machine because I could not be bothered. Next, it's time to add the leg cuff. I first cut out the piece in my lining fabric as well as the main fabric, which is this navy blue micro velvet. And while normally I would just iron on my interfacing, I can't do that on velvet, so I hand sewed it. I then attached this gold piping trim to the edges, first by hand stitching it, and then by machine. While sewing piping, you want to do 2 things. Make sure you have a zipper foot on, and set your needle position to as far to the left as you can. I then attach the cuff to the breeches, first by sewing the velvet one onto the leg, and then adding the lining on. Okay, almost done. I grabbed all the backings that I'm going to be using for this costume, spray painted them gold, and then attached all the gems using super glue. I then created these little badge things out of leftover fabric and hand sewed them to the leg. And with that, my breeches were finally done. Oh my god, this was one of the hardest things I've sewn ever. Just making sure that the fit was correct and figuring out that frickin' fly. It was just so much work, and on top of all the hand sewing, it took me about 32 hours to put this together. But I am very happy with the results. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up, and if you have any questions, please feel free to leave it in the comments below. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more cosplay content from me, or if you want to check out my dancing, please check out my dance channel. I'll see you guys in my next video. Until then, bye-bye!